This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Over the 20 plus years that parkour has been around, there's been a number of insane moments. Today, I wanted to go through the greatest runs in parkour history. It's impossible to say as fact what are the best parkour lines of all time, so these are just my opinions. The lines that I'm going to be looking at are like pure A to B parkour, like traveling across a long distance, ascents, descents, that kind of stuff. In the future, I'll do a more trick-heavy version of this video, but for now, we're going to be looking at my favourite lines of parkour history. We are going to start off with an absolute classic, and that is the run that pretty much kicked off parkour all around the world. This run comes from none other than the man himself, David Bell. So in the very early days of parkour, around the late 90s, we would start to see David Bell and the Yamakaze appearing on like news channels. And I believe this is the first ever one of these, and that is the manpower gap.
Peut descendre cet immeuble de 4 étages en un temps record.
And he just does it so well, man. There's no hesitancy, his roll's like clean. And I love his like focus on breath. You can hear him go Julian. It's like Wim Hofing. And it's just that landing, man. The steez when he lands. It's just, he's so chilling. It's like the manpower gap is still to this day an obscenely big jump. So David has taken this insane drop. And at that point, that's where most people just stop. That's like, I've done the manpower gap. But that weren't enough for David. He continues on and he just starts taking all these other height drops that are equally as impressive. If this clip didn't exist in the early days, I don't know, I feel like the trajectory of parkour could have been totally different. This is my personal favourite clip of Benj Cave. Benj's style kind of combines traditional A to B parkour with a flowy, spinny, and like stylish look. And I feel like this clip was him coming into his own with that specific style. Just the way he comes in, man. Woo! Oh! It's so, it's so tasty. Just the way he like effortlessly glides down the beginning part of the run. And then when he goes into the reverse vault pre, which isn't something you actually see that often. It's a hard move to be precise with it. But it's the way he lands and transitions into this roll. And I like that in the video you see him breaking it down. It really took him a while to get that transition. That's the thing about Benj, is that he will battle for a line like this. A lot of people, myself included, I would have given up. Probably after like, I don't know, 5 attempts.
Oh, it's so close.
Safari hats off to Benj. Next on this list goes to Benj Cave's brother. I promise they haven't been paying me off for this.
I've been hustling non-stop, yeah? You haven't been seeing me recently. I've been making wedge, bare paper.
Before we continue, a massive thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. If you're looking to build a high-quality professional website for your business, your brand, whatever, Squarespace has you covered. What makes Squarespace so good is that it's so intuitive and easy to use. With endless templates to choose from and a ton of additional features, why would you not use Squarespace? It's honestly the best platform I've ever used for making a website. It's affordable and it's very simple to use. You don't need to be an expert, you can just pick it up and figure it out pretty quickly. It has built-in things like e-commerce, appointment booking, members-only content, and lots more. You can really just do it all within Squarespace and you don't have to hire someone to do it. So be sure to head over to squarespace.com to start your free trial. And to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain, use the code JimmyTheGiant. Anyway, back to the video. And this is Max Cave in the original Cavemen of the Concrete. They do the A to B, fast ascent, descent stuff. But Max and Benj have very distinctly different styles of doing it. Max is like just pure power, and as you see at Benj is more flowy. Jesus. And then just... This line is like a perfect example of how parkour evolved. Most of the jumps you see Max do there had been done prior, like people had done those rail precisions, etc. But no one had tied that whole thing into one long, amazing line like Max did. He put all these pieces together and seamlessly moved through it. And it's like just the distance he covers is incredible to watch. One of my all-time favorites for sure. So this line comes from Dylan Baker in the Apex Movement 2012 video. That is insane. That precision. That is an insane run. Bearing in mind, this is 2012, so no one is really training like this. If you were watching this video at the time, you wouldn't really know what to expect, because normally, he's done the big rail precision, move on to the next clip. This was so ahead of its time, and I can only assume that Max and Benj were probably inspired by Dylan. But that precision is just ridiculous. The level of skill and control you need to have in order to land that is incredible. Dylan was really pioneering and pushing this A to B long run style. He was going to make a video called Descent. Now, as far as I'm aware, that video never was released, but this video right here is one of the clips of a line that he was trying to put in this video. This right here, the drop down, insane. And this, hanging drop to rail. How do you think to do that? That is such an incredible run. And if you read the description, basically what he's saying is he went there, saw this from a distance and thought, I'll just give it a go. Like, this is him prepping it. The only move that he had done in this line before was the windowsill stride. There is a little thing that you might not have even noticed. Watch his feet really closely on the rail precision. His foot hits the rail and like slips down. Most people, myself included, that would absolutely shake me up. But what Dylan does is he just drops down and continues. The things that make up this line are all so technical and so hard to do, and for him to just put it together as clean as that is amazing. I don't even think we even saw a finished version of this line, but I think we're blessed with this version. It got 139,000 views on Facebook, so it done its job. What? It done its job. I feel like I'm having an aneurysm today. This next one comes from a OG, and his name is Daniel Ilabaka. Most of you have been in parkour for a while will know who Danny is, but some of the newer people might not be aware just how amazing and like next level Danny was. So this one was from 2009, and it was this just classic video of Tim Sheaf, Jenks, and also William Spencer. And in this clip, you see Daniel Ilabaka at a kid's playground. A grown man in a kid's playground. But let's just overlook that and appreciate what it is he's doing. It's just the foot placement, man. It's just unreal. Just ridiculous. Like, I just can't imagine anyone, even right now, who could do this line as cleanly and just elegantly as Danny. He's basically sprinting across these rails that are all at different angles, and he has to like angle his feet differently. And the way he does it at this speed, it just makes no sense. I feel honestly so blessed that I was around when Danny was like in his prime and training a lot. There was loads of videos of him all the time. A parkour treasure. The next line comes from one of my personal favorite athletes, and that is Shane Parkour. So this comes from a video from Ampy Sound called On Ascent, and it came out in 2019. This right here. How? Ridiculous, man. And like, consider how high up he is right now. Any mistake, he's going straight to a hospital. Shane does these climbs that I just couldn't even imagine most rock climbers would do. Actually, I'm going to take that back before I get like an army of rock climbers come after me in the comments. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure you could do this. But let's break this climb down into parts. So he does this really fast wall scale into like this leap, which swings him over into an arm jump position. Like, I know it's really cliche to say, but this is like Assassin's Creed in real life. He does an insanely snappy climb up, and then comes the hard bit of this climb. This is where you see Shane reach for a tiny little piece. And from here, he has to now do like a dynamic dyno to the top. Gets it perfectly, doesn't wait around, he's not like surprised or stunned. Gets his second hand up and then continues to climb. Just incredibly done. I'm definitely going to make a video with Shane very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you subscribe to see that one. So the next one is a really recent run. It came out in 2021. I don't know exactly when it was done, but this is Michael Kadori in the recent Capstone video. Michael Kadori, if you don't know, is like a protege to Dom Tomato. So you do the maths, you can probably work out what kind of training he does.
Don't do parkour for yourself, only do it for the clout, the fame, the money, and the Baba Booey.
Okay, so he goes into hang, takes this massive height drop, like two stories at least. Turn vault. Jesus! Like, what are we witnessing right here? I literally can't fathom this. It's so ridiculous. Like, the height drops he's just taken in one run is more than I've taken in my entire life. But the most insane part is the landing of the last height drop. To me, that looks like 2 and a bit stories. I mean, if anyone else was going to take this height drop, you would definitely roll. I mean, if I did it, I'd probably have to do like 5 rolls continuously just to make sure. I'm going to show the other angle of this because the way they filmed it is like quite artsy. In the caption, it says, "I'm just lazy and I let gravity do all the work." Ridiculous, man. Just to give you some idea of the impact, listen to how the metal object he lands on sounds.
I'm not sure I should believe this data because I didn't see how'd you land?
This one comes from another British athlete. You guys know I'm biased at this point, so let's just accept it. I like British athletes. This was Joe Scandra in 2019. Oh my God. My heart would be like... ridiculous. And it's like when the camera zooms out as well. That's a little bit mad. So this came out around that kind of revelation of descents. And Joe Scandra is definitely one of the athletes that just took descents to an absurd level. Drake, the rapper Drake, follows Joe Scandra. Trust me, daddy. It went super viral when he came across it. Blah, 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 I don't know. All I know is Drake follows Joe. To me, lines like this are just so risky. But the thing is, if anyone's gonna do it, it would be Joe Scandra. I really need to go to the toilet, good lord. All right, so this next one comes from Dom Tomato. I mean, come on, what'd you expect? It's a top 10 list. It's obviously I'm gonna talk about Dom Tomato. But which clip, you might wonder? Of the many insane clips of Dom Tomato, how can I possibly choose one? Well, seeing as we're looking at more the A to B, like here to there kind of thing, there is one clip that stands out massively to me from Dom, and that is when he went to IMAX. Even when I get someone who's not British, they're at a British spot. Just what? I'm gonna show you the second angle because that does not do it justice. Just watch this. What? This is such a Dom line. Just height drop, height drop, height drop, height drop, height drop. The impact of that line would obliterate most people's kneecaps. And you even see when he's working up to this jump that he takes this big height drop because he doesn't commit to it. And I just feel like I'm laboring a dead point now, but just what is Dom? Like, how does he do this? And there cannot be a quicker way of getting from the top of IMAX to the bottom as quick as that. Okay, so the next one is from Marcio Felipe. This one came out in like late 2020 and it's him doing a ton of plyos really high up. Jesus, man. What he's plyoing onto are like thin rails. He filmed it on a GoPro so you can see his point of view. No. No way.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but what? Like, how do you think to do that? How do you look at that and be like, that'd be fine? It's not like just seeing 2 rail plyos at height and doing that. That would be one thing. But he does 10 continuous rail plyos at 3 stories in the air. Needless to say, if you miss just one of them, well, I don't want to put that energy out there, but you know what would happen. Marcio is an absolute trained professional. He's one of the best in the scene. He's like famous for his landings. Stay safe out there, people. Anyway, that is my list. I know it's my opinion. You might disagree, so I want to hear yours in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The Parkour bucket list is out now. You can massively help me by picking up some merchandise on jimmythegiant.co.uk, supporting me on Patreon, or using the sponsored link below. Peace.